What's up, y'all? Welcome to High Noon Racing. Under this torn cover is our 98 Firebird Scoots. It's our Project F body. Now we named this thing Scoots because the idea is it's gonna scoot. We don't want no rain. Alright guys, in the last video we cleaned up the engine bay a little bit, moved some stuff around where we wanted it to make it look nice and clean to our liking. Took the catch can, brought it back there for a much cleaner look. We moved all of our boost references from right here where it was mounted to these guys to up under there, just to kind of clean up the presentation of everything. We installed this radiator and decided we hated this hose that we overpaid for at O'Reilly's. So we're not doing nothing with this today. We like the bottom hose because it's clean, straight shot. We don't like the top hose. But I told y'all I was gonna move around my ghetto wiring. Let me get this out of the way real quick and show y'all. Ghetto wiring. So what is ghetto wiring? This is when you're like testing. You don't want to waste zero gauge, clamps and fittings or whatever, terminals and stuff like that. So we just twisted the wires together and gave them a healthy dose of duct tape so they wouldn't spark off stuff. So we're gonna run these wires, clean them up. And I kept calling these things something else, but they're junction posts. I called them the wrong thing in the last video. They're actually called junction posts. They're 3/8 in size and they can handle 250 amps or something like that. Does it say? No, it doesn't say. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna use these, set these up so we can clean up the wiring and make it look nice. I'm gonna do it real quick, then I'm gonna show you the results. Man, sometimes I even impress myself with how ghetto I could do things on the fly temporarily. Tell me that wouldn't make a solid connection though. That unit right there was kicking. Booyah. Kind of hard to do with one hand. Alright, so we use these 1/4 inch carriage bolts on pretty much everything. They're like 1/4 inch by an inch or so. And they ain't gonna fit in here, so I got my step drill bit. I'm just gonna step bro these holes real quick and get back with y'all. Alright, so now, because of the roll cage and whatnot, getting under the dash, like standing or kneeling outside the door and twisting your body up in there, it kind of sucks. So I'm gonna try to show y'all how I do this. Alright, first I'm gonna throw my tools up in there where I'll be able to get to them. Steering wheel off. Alright, this is where it gets crazy. Actually, this thing's a T-top. So I'm taking that out because that's where my feetsies are gonna go. Yeah, plant your ass there, legs straight up and lay down. You got access up in there. All right, so it's kind of interesting to do. You know, 2 hands would definitely go a long way with this, but for the sake of good content, we're gonna do this single-handedly. So we straddle it, straddle going. This is already digging in the back here. Oh yeah. If you gotta poop before you do this, you best go poop first, all right? All right. We're doing a new technique. We kind of dive in like this, I think. Oh yeah. So we're half up in here. Get that leg going up. Get up the chair. Leg up there. Yeah. Now we're talking, baby. All right. Check out my view. Yeah, easy access, baby. Easy access. Alright, let me zip these on real quick, guys. Alright, now that the blood is rushing to your head, and you got them things on there, snug enough, you're gonna grab your power tool. Oh, baby. Them nails are not coming out. I left the burrs underneath it. It kind of acts like a lock washer once it flattens them down. Alright. Now, for getting out of here, we're going to take 5 minutes to enjoy the weather. And you're going to take a look around. I found me a wrench on that. Yeah, look at that. I've been looking for about 13. I found it. Alright, so now that the blood has been rushing to our head for a good 8 or 9 minutes, once you start seeing the astral plane, you're gonna have to get up out of it. Oh yeah, the fun part. get stuck, put your head in weird places, and can't go that way. You're gonna have to go this way. This is a bad idea. Rest here. Oh, come on. Now that we got our Balzacajawea aiming at the sky, we're gonna have to kick on out of this without hitting our face on that. Oof. Just like that. Outstanding. Alright, now we can start putting terminals on and bolting everything we want to get the powers to that. Alright, we cut it, stripped it, crimped on our fitting here, made sure to heat shrink it, let all that glue come out so water don't hit that cheap ass aluminized copper. We'll start going to town on it. And we just put it on our post and do the next one. Of course, this didn't want to fit on there, so we had to step bro the hole. Now she fits. So we use this here Amazon crimping tool set to the right setting for the fittings we got. And the way it works is you got this little spring you can push in, change it for different sizes. We on size 50, so that's what we're using for these. And then you crimp it. I crimp it once, I spin it, and I crimp it again at a different location, so it pinches it twice. So it pinched it once there, pinched it once there. Makes it super strong, ain't coming off. And then you take this here heat shrink, put it over it, and melt it on. Alright, it'll be hard to do it. One hand here. Well, two hands, but it's like damn near impossible. Ooh, I got it. This may not perfectly roll down in those gaps there, so I'll just take this unit here and I just press and roll it a little bit. I can't do that, I need two hands. I'm gonna do it real fast. Alright, and what that did was that kind of pushes the glue out and also pushes it down onto all the surfaces, so makes a nice good seal. Alright. Last one so far for up here is going to go to the alternator. I don't have the alternator bracketry yet, but I do have some choice wires picked out for that. So that'll go to the back of the alternator there. Then I'll crimp on a fitting and run it over to that junction. And that way now those wires are no longer up in this area and it's no longer ghetto. So looks like I'm about to get hammered with rain. So that's probably gonna cut this video short because I'm gonna start putting stuff up before I get hammered. But yeah, just a little quick video for you. Had to clean up some of the engine bay wiring, and you know, those are all strong solid connections, so those are good to go. I also made sure to choose this spot right here because I can get to it. If it was up in there, yeah, it would be more hidden, but you have to put a wrench on it. And keep in mind, that wrench is touching that and that's somehow live and you didn't disconnect it, you're gonna have Spark City everywhere you tap that wrench. So right there, simple, easy access, the way we like it. High Noon Racing, like, comment, and subscribe. One more thing, small disclaimer here. See how that is technically touching the head of that bolt? And it's going to be live power. You don't want that. Even though it's insulated, over hours of vibration and whatnot from the vehicle running, doing passes, driving, whatever, it will wear through that and you will eventually have some serious sparks going on or a fire. So one thing is you can either flip it back over the way it's supposed to go, or you can bend the tab up. In this case, I'm gonna probably just flip it over. Just like that. So, not gonna have any contact. Other than that, make sure you got that lock washer in there. And what that does is, let's see, it's a little washer that has like a split in it. Trying to get a good view of it. Kind of see it there. Yeah, let me take it out. This is a lock washer, and it kind of looks weird. It has like a split in it, and one side is raised compared to the other side, like that. The reason why is when you sandwich the layers together, that washer flattens out, and that washer is now like a spring, so it's pushing against it. Basically, what's going on is it's helping keep that nut from vibrating and loosening, and your wire's just flying around live. So you want to have a lock washer. If you somehow lose it, don't just like say, no big deal. You got to get something on it. All right, guys, that's going to be the end of this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Yeah, this cover for sure has seen better days. One day it rained real heavy and the water filled the engine bay. It was like a little mini hot tub, and it was eventually enough to cause this to rip. But other than that, this thing was like incredibly strong. I couldn't believe the amount of water it held at times. Should have put a board in there or something so it could sheet off. But yep, rain's coming down, so that's going to do it for a Saturday. Got an idea of something I want to build. I want to build me a cart that I could push out in the yard. Got some big old mud tires on it, something I can keep the MIG welder on with all the cables. That way it legit is like perfect little yard cart. I don't have to haul everything out here and then haul it back to the garage and make a mess in the garage each time. I could just keep everything stored in it. And I mean, that way also, when I get me a nice trailer, I could push that unit right up in the trailer, ready to go to the track with a welder, whatever I need. So I think I'm gonna do that. It's gonna slow down some of the part buying process on the car, but I think it'll definitely benefit me in the long run. So probably gonna take you guys along for a ride to accumulate these supplies and make this happen, Captain.